I think attending the Beat TV European TV Summit yesterday was fantastic. A lot of great conversations from broadcasters, streaming services, advertisers and ad tech vendors, talking about the increase of addressable TV in Europe and how more TV content is now being delivered via the household IP. And with that comes the ability for advertisers to get increased targeting. So there's a lot of conversation around what CTV actually is and what is the premise of addressable TV. And many people concluded that it's the sight, sound and motion that everybody loves about television, but increasingly with the precision of digital targeting. Today, it's been fantastic to already see so many great speakers. We've seen Peter Naylor from Netflix up on stage and several others from both the buy and sell sides talking about how advertisers now have a real increased appetite to target streaming audiences. But it's not necessarily just traditional TV advertisers. It's also new advertisers that thus far have been absent from linear television because they haven't had the budgets or they haven't had the ability to get their ads onto the biggest screen in the household. So a lot of the conversation today has been centered around programmatic. And I think that's really interesting because if we go back several years, programmatic was really on the periphery of many conversations when it came to television. Now it's very much front and center, but it's about taking the best of digital programmatic and rebuilding it from the ground up for television to make sure that we get the ad break experience right, to make sure that audiences aren't bombarded with the same ads back to back in the same ad break, to make sure that ad buyers have got the same controls in addressable TV that they've had for many years in linear television. So they know the contextual relevancy of the ad break. They know whether or not they're going to serve their ad back to back with their competitors. So the last 2 days, there's been some fantastic conversation and it's great to see programmatic very much at the center of those discussions, but with everybody acutely aware that we need to get the experience right for the viewers and we also need to get the experience right for those on the buy side, the advertisers.
I mean, I'm sure the opportunities changed a lot in the last 12 months since we were last year. How do you see the next 12 months of 2024 panning out?
A lot of conversation around measurement. I don't think you can go to a TV event here in London, maybe further afield in APAC or the US, without many people talking about should television be measured like traditional TV with panels, or should it be measured like digital because it's increasingly being delivered via the household IP? I think we've still got some way to go in regards to collectively agreeing on what the currency should be and how those on both the buy and sell side measure and quantify TV audiences. But it's great to see a lot of focus around various different JICs and different organizations and trade bodies trying to figure out what those best practices look like, because I think everybody collectively agrees that unless we can measure and quantify properly, it's going to be very difficult for some of the largest advertisers in the world to fully transition ad spend from linear into the growing addressable AVOD and fast environments that we've seen many TV audiences are now proactively leaning into on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. And streaming TV, the opportunity is evolving on both sides of the Atlantic.
Yep.
Do you see alignment in how that is happening, or is there an opportunity for mutual learning on either side?
I think there's a lot of opportunity for mutual learning, but again, in the US, it's probably a little bit easier to scale some of these AVOD and fast services because you have a common framework around planning, buying. Again, that measurement component is still being developed, but there's in many markets, it's not as fragmented maybe as it would be closer to home here in Europe. In the UK, you've got fantastic broadcasters. The broadcasters themselves are going through a period of evolution, building out their BVOD offerings and trying to figure out what addressable TV really means to them. And again, building those programmatic frameworks, but very much unique to their own needs. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for collective learning, but some markets are much more fragmented than others. So sometimes it's a little bit harder to just scale things as quickly and as holistically because each market in Europe is very much regulated in a slightly different way than maybe the US or APAC, for instance.
And lastly, what can we expect from you at Publica in 2024?
So at Publica, we're really focused on two key areas. It's enabling streaming publishers, TV manufacturers with advertising businesses to create linear-like TV ad breaks. So they can appeal to advertisers who have traditionally advertised in linear, but also the growing number of digital advertisers that I've referenced earlier that are now trying to get their ads onto the biggest screen in the household. Another key area of focus for Publica is enabling a seamless viewing experience for TV audiences. There are a lot of AVOD and FAST services at the moment, and a big priority for many publishers is to make sure that they don't lose audiences due to a poor ad break. TV audiences now will no longer tolerate a buffering TV screen. They don't want to see the same ad back to back multiple times in the same ad break. So for us, it's about enabling streaming publishers to grow their advertising revenues via the ad breaks that those on the buy side will want to target. And it's also enabling them to build seamless ad pods that enable their audiences to lean into their services rather than switching them off and leaving to a competitive AVOD or FAST offering.